Trade talks have been intensifying for the Florida Panthers, and an insider has the perfect player that could fit on this Panthers roster. I'll tell you who that is in just a moment. And yes, it was an L last night against the Pittsburgh Penguins, but hey, there was a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. We're going to talk about that in a few moments. But guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Panthers Digest. I'm your host, Greg Andrews. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. You guys need to stay up to date with anything and everything that has to do with your back-to-back Stanley Cup champion, Florida Panthers. Sorry guys, I haven't had a video in the last couple of days. I was fighting the flu and I'm still a little under the weather. It might not sound like it, but I'm definitely feeling it. But I had to get this out for you guys. So, get right to the point. There is somebody out there that the Panthers have their eye on right now. The rumors are, according to TSN's Pierre LeBrun, this man, for those of you who do not know who that is Yegor Chinakhov. He plays for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Yes, he did not play a whole lot last season due to an injury, but he's only 24 years old. He's a right-wing player, and he's got a lot of upside to him. So, here we go. Yegor Chinakhov, 6'1", 200 pounds, 24 years old. He had a great season in 2023-2024 with 16 goals, 13 assists. A lot of upside in just 53 games. So I think with only 1 year left on his contract and $2.1 million cap hit, it's an intriguing idea to trade for him because he requested a trade this summer over kind of butting heads with the front office. Doesn't like being there, really does want to be traded. So there could be some upside in terms of not having to give up a lot to get a player who doesn't want to be on that roster at the moment. And I do like him because he has a very, very good shot from distance. He's a plus 90 mile an hour shot, especially with his quick wrist shots. He likes to get the puck off his stick as quickly as possible. He's a very, very fast skater, one of the fastest in the NHL. And he really knows how to cut so he can get open in the offensive third of the ice and really help his team and get in good position to score. So once again, a very good shot from distance, dangerous in the attacking zone, and the problem is, though, he did face injury. So that could be a little bit of that. All right, we don't have to give up a lot to get him. Bring him in. Put him on the roster because they do need some more offensive firepower. Right now, without Barkov and Tkachuk, we are seeing that. I know last night there was a little bit of that shining moments from last season of, hey, you know, the Cats look like they're getting that offensive swag back. It didn't happen until a little bit later in the game, about that last 35 minutes of the game or so, give or take. The beginning of it, not so much, but they started to have a little bit of that look from the playoffs last year. Again, they're still missing a lot of key players, but there is some upside to last night's loss. So again, the one thing that this kid needs to work on, though, defense, obviously, and his awareness off of the puck. But there's still a lot of upside. His speed, his shot, and he can put it in the corners. And man, he has a great slap shot. I think it was the 2023-2024 season. He had a slap shot against the Blues that was 95 miles an hour. I know it's not 100 miles an hour, but still, if you're shooting and averaging somewhere in like the 90s, that's pretty solid, and he's right there. So he's a wicked wrister, great slap shot, good two-way player, does need a little bit more of help on the defensive side of things. I mean, he's got the experience in the NHL now. Some of those defensive issues were earlier in his career. He's been a little bit better on it. I think if he comes here, he will be better defensively because we're a defensive-minded team. So let's keep moving forward, guys. Again, 1 year left on his contract, $2.1 million. So I would say it's more of a win-win scenario for the Cats if they end up going for this trade. Again, it's just a rumor from Pierre LeBrun, from TSN. I'm not putting anything into it, but if the rumor is true and they end up picking him up, I don't think this is a bad thing. I could see some excitement in this to generate some extra offense for this team. Now, is he a third liner, a fourth liner? I don't know. I would say put him on the fourth line, see how he fits in there, because right now that fourth line does need a lot of help. And I think he could boost it, especially with that speed. So let's keep moving forward, guys. Last night's loss, 5-3. Sidney Crosby, they're saying, oh my God, Sidney Crosby's 2 goals and an assist. And blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. Yeah, I know, Sidney Crosby's still great. And I already said this in one of my videos weeks ago when I was rumoring that the Panthers could go after Sidney Crosby. And I said, the trade talks about Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. It all surrounds how does their team play this season. And guess what? They're not going to go anywhere. And I don't think the Cats are going to want to give up a lot for them. They're not going to want to put themselves above the cap any more than they should, because it looks as if Barkov will be back this postseason because he's not on long-term LTIR, guys. So they're taking that $3.5 or $3.8 million of that open cap that they can use, not the $10 million per year. So I want to clarify that. So yeah, Sid, not the kid anymore. He's not going to go anywhere. Evgeny Malkin's not going to go anywhere. They've won 4 in a row now. The Cats, after a win against Boston, came back home, had some moments of looking like the Cats from last year in the playoffs. Brad Marchand, and I was going to say, Brad Marchand, Mackie Samoskevich were the 2 shining stars from last night. Yes, I know Sam Reinhart had a goal, but Brad Marchand, man, he is looking not like he's 37 years old at all. He's looking like the all-star that he's going to be. He's looking like he potentially could be an 85-plus points guy this season. I mean, he could have 35 to 45 goals this year with the amount of scoring that he's putting up there and the assist categories. I mean, he could have one of his best seasons in his career at 37 years old. If things go well, I'm not going to say anything else about it. But these are the stats from last night. Outshot, out-hit, not so much in the face-off circle, but pretty much outplayed the Penguins all around. I just don't know what it is about this team that they just, goaltenders have their best games. And I know every team's going to put 110% up against the Cats. We're the defending back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. They're always going to come at it with everything they got. So I understand, but we're shooting the puck right at the goaltenders. Jari last night had a fantastic game. 37 shots and only 3 goals. I know he had some masterful saves, the one towards the end of the game with Marchand having an open net, and he just lifted his leg up to put the pad up, and Marchand shot it right at his pad. That was just, I mean, what an unbelievable just luck of just let me lift my leg up just by chance. Maybe he'll shoot it at my leg, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened. But that's kind of the luck that the Panthers have had so far early on in the season with a lot of these goaltenders, is they're shooting them mostly at the goaltenders. There were some great moments last night where I really thought Lundell should have put a couple in the back of the net. To me, it should have been a 7-5 victory for the Cats with how many opportunities they had, and we'll get into the video in just a minute. But again, 19 block shots for the Penguins. Teams seem to be getting in our shooting lanes all the time. And, excuse me, a lot of takeaways for the Penguins. Giveaways still. Not some, I mean, we're just, again, accountability on defense, it's not happening. Our special teams offensively has been better. Obviously, you see here, out of the 3 power plays, we scored twice, but our penalty kill has been dire in the last several games. It has not been good. Look at that. They went 2 for 2 last night. Let's keep moving on. Here are the numbers from the game last night. Again, where is Sam Bennett? It seems like every time he touches the puck, he just turns it over. Tries to make something happen in the offensive zone. He's going in between like 3 defenders or 2 guys trying to get right in the middle of those, in the middle of the circles, and just gives up the puck. What I did see and I did like from the Cats, they were crashing the net more. They were trying to get in front of the goaltenders and bother them. So that was more of what the Cats do of old. But defensively, what we usually do is clear out the crease so Bob can see where the puck is. We're not doing enough of that this season. That is something on defense that we need to fix. And we are a defensive-minded team. So anyways, Brad Marchand, 2 goals. Unbelievable game for him. He, at 37 years old, is unbelievable. Mackie Samoskevich, 2 assists. Sam Reinhart with a goal. And then Lundell and Lustranen with an assist apiece. The only problem is, again, where is Sam Bennett? And I know there have been some other issues with some of these lines. Boquist had some problems yesterday, was caught off guard. And we're going to take a look at the film in just a minute, but let's take a look at the defense right now. Seth Jones had a great game, 2 assists, so bravo by him. Facing off against his brother for the first time in their careers. Fun game to watch between those two. And then Bob, rough night. Not getting a lot of help on defense and not getting a lot of help on the penalty kill either. I mean, the 2 goals on the special teams by the Penguins, too easy. And I'll show you guys that in just a moment. But yeah, not a good game for him. 5 goals against on only 17 shots faced. So that's going to hurt his numbers for the season. But again, I'm not going to look at Bob and say, hey, he just had a bad game. He didn't. He still played well. He's been playing well in every single game that he's been in this season. It's just not getting a lot of help from the guys in front of him right now. These are the stats on the season. Brad Marchand running away with everything with 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 points. Looks oddly familiar to postseason last year with his 10 goals and 10 assists. And then Anton Lundell on the same line. I mean, they should not change that Lundell, Lestrin, and Marchand line. When they are together, magic happens. Goals get scored. They need to keep that line as is. If that's the top line, so be it. There was success last night. Don't change it, Paul Maurice. It is working. It is great. Maybe you have to do something for that second line and start mixing and matching that second and third line and figuring something out there. But right now, Mackie Samoskevich as well has been just all over the place, trying to create plays, making some great passes. So I really like what he has been doing. But look at the very bottom, guys. Plus minus, -9, man. Sam Bennett. I just don't understand what's happening. He got paid, and he's just non-existent this year. Non-existent. 1 goal and 1 assist this season. Still a -9 rating. Carter Verhaeghe is having a rough go of it already this season as well. Sam Reinhart. And it's just been rough for these guys. I know they have to change the way that they are playing. It's tough. They're without their best player, and Aleksander Barkov. They're without arguably their second best player, give or take, in Matthew Tkachuk. Again, key pieces missing, makes these guys have to change the way that they are playing. So let's get into the video. So last night's game, here we go. Some good stuff right here. Great pass by Mackie Samoskevich. I mean, Brad Marchand didn't even have to move the defenders. Look at that. 4 guys right there, caught watching the puck. Look at all their heads, looking right at it. Just goes, Marchand didn't even have to move. Goes right off his skates. No kicking motion, nothing. Goes right into the back of the net. Great job there. And here is a great opportunity for the Cats. Look at this position. I would say, I don't know who that is closest to us at the bottom of the screen. If he was a little bit closer to the circle, maybe right in, not inside the hash in between the circles, but inside the circle, this would have gone to the back of the net. But look, he is dead center. And if you can see, it probably would have given him a better angle to put that into the back of the net a little bit quicker, but missed the net completely. Sorry, that was Brad Marchand, excuse me. So if he was a little bit further outside and not going dead center towards the crease, that probably would have been an easy goal. And yeah, so let's keep looking here. Right into the front of the net. Again, it's like we're shooting right at the goaltender, or we're just shooting low at the pads, and that's what we're looking at. So here we go again. Take a look at where our positioning is defensively, okay? So we have 1 guy right at the blue line. We have 4 guys in the top circle. Caught, puck watching. 3 Penguins are at the top of the blue line, and you guys are going to see the Penguin closest to us at the bottom of the screen on the right. He's just going to make his way down to the near circle towards the crease, and some tic-tac-toe passing, and it goes to the back of the net. Here we go. Great pass. Sorry, it's number 81. Passes back. Give and go. Boom. Wide open. Goal. And then here's another opportunity for the Cats to potentially put one in the back of the net. Here's Carter Verhaeghe trying to get right past the defender, was still able to control this puck that's bouncing all over the place. And here he goes. Gets a great job on it, but Jari does a better job of getting that pad flat on the ice and nowhere to go for Carter Verhaeghe. I feel like if he would have kept going straight across the crease, maybe you put it in the 5-hole. Who knows? Maybe you lift it over that left pad of Jari. But great job by the goaltender there. Again, I don't know what it is about us and goaltenders this year and not being able to put it past them. We're just having a lot of difficulty, and they're just playing out of their minds against us. So here we go again. We are trying to drive to the net. Anton Lundell, great pass. Better pad save by Jari. Lundell, if he would have lifted that up a little bit more, again, maybe come a little bit further to the bottom of the screen and been a little more inside the circle instead of in between the hashes, maybe that one goes into the net and not into the goaltender's pad. Let's keep on going here. Another great look. Wide open, Brad Marchand does what he does best, puts that in, backhand, goal. Now I want you guys to watch. Here is one of the power plays late in the game, third period, 8 minutes and 16 seconds left, 1:50 left. This was Sidney Crosby's second goal of the evening. Where are the defenders? They are caught puck watching. Oh yeah, it's not like you don't have a Stanley Cup award, Stanley Cup champion at the bottom of the screen. Number 87 is Sidney Crosby, who's, I don't know, not that great, right? So who cares about where he is? Caught puck watching. Lundell loses track, and watch this, wide open. What are we doing on defense on our penalty kill? What are we doing? What are we doing there? And then here's the end of the game. Another great opportunity for Brad Marchand. This is the one where he stacks the pad. I mean, come on, that's just pure luck. He's literally sticking out the pad, hoping that Brad Marchand's not able to lift that puck high enough to get it over. He was a little too close. I would say if Brad Marchand was like 2 feet further away from the goal, he probably could have put that one easily in the back of the net, but that one hits the pad, goes off. Great save by Jari. Save of the night for him. Probably save of all of the games that happened last night. But that's essentially what we're looking at right now. Unfortunately, that is what we're looking at. You know, I'm not frustrated with that game. Am I frustrated we lost? Yeah, it sucks. You know, we don't have the best record. I think it's 4-5 on the season now. A tough game coming up against the Vegas Golden Knights. That's gonna be a real tough one for us, even though we're playing at home. But let's hope the offense that has picked it up at that, like I said, about 35 minutes left in the game, that you could start to see the offense started to work. You could see the chances starting to happen. So let's hope that carries over into this next game. The offense plays better. Our special teams plays better, especially on the defensive side of things for the penalty kill. And let's also hope that just on our 5-on-5 defense, we're not turning the puck over in neutral ice. We're not, having just these bonehead kind of plays that are allowing the other team to put themselves back into it. Because yesterday's game was like every time we scored, they had an answer. And it didn't take very long either. I think when we were 1 goal back after Brad Marchand's first goal, they scored within 2 minutes after that. Towards the end of the game, we were within 1 goal, and Brad Marchand scored his second. They scored 45 or 42 seconds after that. So again, it's they have to stay on their toes. They have to play better defense. I just don't know what they're going to do. That's why I was like, okay, I hear this rumor about a trade. Maybe it could help. Maybe that gives them an offensive spark, because I just think the depth that they have on their lines is there up to a point. I think that fourth line has been a bit of a sore spot, and that's one of the reasons why we're seeing other teams, third lines, fourth lines, get the better of the Panthers at times. But, I mean, last night you had an 18-year-old kid score on us. Come on. Let's go, guys. And here, we're going to have some quotes. Here's Paul Maurice talking about the game last night. The first half of the game, we looked like we have... the first half of the game, we looked like we have for a while. Just slow offensively. In the back half of the game, we got to the right pace. There's a little bit of freedom. We just got to a level of intensity with the puck and looked the way we're supposed to look. We don't talk a lot about offense because we're a defensive-minded team, but we felt we're slow offensively, and I didn't feel that way tonight. And I agree. I think they looked a lot better in the second half of that game. And here is Eetu Luostarinen on the game last night. I think we've got a lot of shots. We just have to be right in front of the goalie to make it harder for him. It's been a lot of one-goal games. We just have to find a way to win those games. And they're trying. They have a little bit more that they need to try to do offensively. Again, crash the net, Got to bother the goaltenders. You got to be out there and just bugging the hell out of these guys so that way they can't get eyes on the puck. You got to be like they were last year. You got to be scrappy in front of the net. We are not doing that. And here's Brad Marchand. They just seem to capitalize on their opportunities. We controlled from after the first period on. We really controlled that game. It just seemed like every time we pushed, they'd make one play. We got back to the way we played in the second half of the last year, the way we need to have success. We did it for the entire game after that. It was good to see. So, a little bit of positivity from Brad Marchand. I see some positivity in the way they came together offensively last night. It looks like they kind of made it click. But unfortunately, a little bit too late in the game. They fell behind early, could not catch back up. I mean, when you're playing catch up the whole game, usually you're not going to win. And we're not going to call them the cardiac cats or the comeback cats. So, we'll see what happens. Again, the next game is against the Vegas Golden Knights. That is going to be a tough one, guys, but I have some optimism with this. The home crowd better be loud. You better be bringing it because they are going to need it, guys. But anyways, rumors, told you already, Chinakhov, possibly. We'll see what happens, but there's a ton of other teams rumored to be linked to trying to trade for him, so we will see what happens. But right now, I think that they're going to run with what they got, try to see if Paul Maurice can make this team perform better offensively, stick on their special teams a little bit better as well, especially on the penalty kill. On the power play, they've been doing better. There's no problems there, but lately the penalty kill needs a little bit of a tune-up. And then on their 5-on-5, they just got to put their chances home. They got to put that thing to the back of the net, and they just have not been able to do it. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate all of you. Your support is wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I do apologize again. I was sick. I'm still sick, but I should have another video out possibly tomorrow. If worst case scenario, Sunday. Again, I just got to make sure I'm resting. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this one. I will talk to you guys later, and go Cats.